Hello, man. That was funny. It took me a minute to figure out how to turn the camera around. Hey, all. Happy Wednesday. I'm taking you on a little lunchtime woods walk with me and the Diggle Bunny. And I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been noticing. Often when women start working with me, when women come to me and talk about working with me, they're often really gun shy. They're often really worried about spending the money to invest in support. Almost every single woman I've ever worked with has worked with other folks or other teachers and mentors or in other programs and felt really let down. That's a real commonality with women that I work with. They've done something before to get support and it hasn't worked. And and I was thinking about it. I've invested in a number of really high levels of support the last few months, and it is as it always is. It's nauseatingly frightening for me. Diggy, stay here. It's nausea. I'm keeping one eye on the woods because you don't really know what's in these woods. So I want to make sure I see it before Diggy does. It sort of brought me back to what it feels like to make a big level investment in something that you don't have firsthand experience of working, right? And that happens anytime you hire a new team member or you join a new coaching program or work with a new mentor or coach or guide. Like if they're new to you, you don't really know what you can experience and it's kind of scary. And so I was reminded of that because Diggy, I've invested in 2 high level forms of support over the since the first of the year. And it was scary. And I was reminded of that place that all of my clients are in when they first come to me. And what I wanted to remind you is that it's totally common to feel fear and resistance when you're making an investment. In fact, I think you should feel maybe not fear and resistance, but you definitely should very carefully consider what you're doing and whether or not your intuitive sense tells you that it's the right thing for you. And I have a variety of tools that I use to do that, which I can tell you about if you're ever interested. And so what's happening, buddy? Oh dear, I think we have poop on our tail. I'll help you in 1 second. But what I wanted to remind you of is that, I think that one of the pieces that marks people who feel successful from people who don't feel successful is that ability to turn inside when you need answers and really understand how to find answers given uncertain information. And then the other thing is to really know and own and accept that it's not a thing to DIY this stuff. It's not a thing to DIY building a successful business. It's not a thing to DIY financial wealth. It's not a thing to DIY even total health and well-being. It's not a thing to DIY, creating a successful life or doing work that you love. Those things are not DIY possible. And by DIY, Diggy, come here. By DIY, I mean do it yourself. You cannot do those things by yourself. Diggs, let's go. Hey, hang on. Losing the dog.